Welcome to Get the Picture podcast. I'm your host, Brad Sigal. Today I want to talk to you about personal photography projects. I think it's important for photographers to have personal projects. And why is it important? It's important especially once you start doing photography as paid work, and therefore you're doing it kind of as a job, and it can start to feel like sometimes jobs feel like where you're not that excited to do it anymore. And then you start not wanting to pick up your camera to do fun stuff, and you lose the passion that caused you to get interested in photography in the first place. So it can be useful for that, for people who are doing photography more seriously, doing it for money in order to keep yourself grounded in the passion that you had for photography in the first place. It can also be helpful for beginner photographers to develop your photography skills. So what are some examples of personal projects? The one that I did first was a 365 project. And what that is there are 365 days in a year. So what I did was I committed to take at least one photo every day and post that photo on social media. Take the photo, edit it, and post it. That way I forced myself to take more photos. That really, really helped me improve my photography skills. And in order to not do the same photo or the same type of photo every day, I really pushed myself to do different kinds of photography. And it really helped me learn a lot of different types of photography that I otherwise never would have even thought about doing, probably, if I hadn't forced myself to do a photo every day of something different. So I did everything from the most expansive photos of the Milky Way in the middle of the night, or the full moon, the vastness of the universe, down to the most microscopic, where I would take photos with macro lens of insects or bugs, and everything in between. Lots of street photography, learn lots of new techniques in terms of longer exposures to get light trails, trying different settings, and just doing all kinds of photography. And it really did a lot to help me improve my photography skills, to where at the end of those 365 days, I really knew my camera way more than I did at the beginning, and had a lot more confidence as a photographer. So I would strongly recommend a 365 project as something that is a great project to do. If 365 days a year commitment sounds like maybe too much, you can start with a 1 week project or a 1 month project, where you take one photo a day for a week or for a month and see how that goes, and see if you can expand it from there. Another nice thing about it was taking and posting a photo every day means that I was posting new, original, interesting photos on my social media. And while I didn't start out with a lot of followers on social media, and I didn't really end with millions of followers either, I did expand the number of people who were following me, because the number of images and the quality of images I was posting did improve and keep people interested throughout the year. So a 365 project is a great one. When I finished that one, I took on another large project. You can do small ones too, but these are the big ones, and I'll talk about some small ones as well. The next big one I took on was 100 Strangers project, where I decided I would go out of my comfort zone to go talk to people out on the street that I don't know and ask them to do portraits. And I would do 100 of them. I started that one several years ago, and I still haven't finished it. So that's the thing about a personal project. You don't have to finish it. You can start it and decide it's not for you and do something else. But I do still want to finish this one. I just have gotten sidetracked with lots of other stuff, and I do one here or there, but I've done about 75 of them, and I'm confident I'll get to 100. I don't know when, though. 100 Strangers project, I thought this was a great project for me because it helped address issues that I wanted to with my photography, of wanting to improve at portraits. Doing at least 100 portraits, that's a good way to improve at doing portraits. Also, getting out of my shell and talking to people that I don't know was something I wanted to do as well, and it really helped with that. I was thinking that I would ask people if they wanted to do a photo on the street, and people would look at me like I was insane, and would be like, no way. But really, it was the opposite. It's almost everybody that I've asked to do a photo has said that they would do a photo. And of course, there's a somewhat of a self-selection. Like, I'm not going to ask people who are rushing past, walking briskly, wearing headphones, not looking in your direction. They're most likely going to say no if you try to stop them and ask them. But if you see someone who has something that catches your eye about them, maybe they're wearing a cool hat or a cool jacket, or you like the way they're dressed, or you like something about their style, if you stop them and ask them if they don't look like they're in a hurry to get somewhere, a lot of times, if you tell people what you find interesting about them and why you'd like to take their photo, people will say yes. So 100 Strangers Project, another great project. You can do smaller projects too. A couple that I did when the COVID lockdown started, I did a project where I got in touch with healthcare workers, frontline healthcare workers who were working at hospitals and clinics during the COVID lockdowns and dealing with the onslaught of people coming into hospitals and clinics and the uncertainty, the unknowing of how much danger they were in. And I did portraits and I did a number of them, and I'm really proud of that project. Another thing I did having to do with the lockdowns during COVID was I did front porch family portraits with a bunch of families where I would stand like on the sidewalk or in their yard far enough away to where you're not going to spread COVID and do portraits of a family on their porch. That was kind of a cool project. Another one that I started, didn't get very far with, hopefully someday I'll come back to it. It's on the back burner with lots of other stuff, is a portrait series of delivery drivers in the vehicle that they use to do their deliveries. So we all know about DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft, etc. So many people work doing that work now, and it's really invisible work, I think. And so I wanted to make the people doing that work more visible. And I love that project. It's just juggling too many balls in the air. That one has been on the back burner. I'll hopefully come back to it. So what would I recommend to do as your personal project? Your first project, it really, I think, is up to you, and it should be based, in my opinion, on one, what skills you want to improve as a photographer, and two, what your interest and passion are, so that it will keep you interested and keep your excitement about photography alive. And so let's say you're into tennis. Maybe you could do a project where you take photos at 10 tennis tournaments or tennis matches, or find 10 tennis players, and do portraits with them. Similarly, pick any sport. You can do that with gymnastics, with hockey, with volleyball, whatever. Let's say you're interested in flowers. You could make a list of 10 flowers that you know exist in the area where you live and turn it into a quest. Seek out those flowers and do photos of those 10 flowers and then post them together as a series. Those are some ideas for personal projects that I think would both like improve your photography skills if you follow through and do it, and keep alive your passion for photography. For me, I would say that especially the 365 project and also to some degree the 100 Strangers project were transformative for my photography and really drastically improved my abilities as a photographer. So I just can't say enough how important it is, I think, to do personal projects to develop your photography and keep your excitement for photography alive. So let me know in the comments if you've done a personal project and what project it was, or if there's one that you're going to commit today to doing. As always, thanks for watching and listening to Get the Picture, and like, subscribe, and follow Get the Picture podcast on all the platforms.